spiritual and material wealth. So a couple things I want to go over before we do our guided experience of the debt. And it's in a set of 3, and it's about getting connected first. And so this is what I woke up with in my kind of just echoing thoughts that were coming in, which is Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And so that seeking within to God is that getting connected, that meditation. And so making sure that you really do spend more time, and speaking to self, that I spend more time in deeper meditation. So I did, probably like an hour today of deep meditation. And so getting really connected. And when I light a candle, when I do meditation as well, it is very felt. Like I feel that lighting within, but also it's like I'm laying on the Therify. And so that ritual, that ancient practice of lighting that candle within your own dark room, within the darkness of the vessel, the body, the temple, the head, really is, a very powerful practice. So getting connected with this, God, with your heavenly presence, with your higher self, all the words that we could say that this is, the waves, now we can get scientific with it, and we understand that this wave, which is called a longitudinal wave, it's called a scalar wave. This is the higher self presence. It is space. It does not have a point. It does not have a photon point. It hasn't collapsed down to 4th state. Things collapse down to 4th state from this wave, which is 5th state, which is why people want to get into the 5th dimension. The whole new wave concept of being 5D is they're wanting to be higher self. They're wanting to be the presence where all things can be added, because you're literally sitting in the God's bank account. Here it is. Whatever you think then particleizes into 4D and then to 3D. So it's that movement from this big spacious presence, and that's why you want to get connected first. You want to have God supply, so that when you do have a clear vision and a clear thought, it literally mirrors back to you. So you're in this game, the 90-degree angle game, it creates a mirror principle. Everything gets mirrored back to you. So whatever you unconsciously, subconsciously are thinking about, that you don't even know you're thinking about, because it's just part of your nervous system hardwired in there now, mirrors back to you when the parameters are right. So a lot of people, astrology based, seasonal based, when the parameters of Leo is in 9th degree, that's when whatever's in your subconscious mind around your joyful play can erupt at 9th degree. It can arrive. Yeah.
It's taking inspired action.
Okay. Right? So these keys, when they're in the right degree, in the 90, but the dome is here. These are fixed points. I'm not going to go into that right now, but when you're down here, feet on the ground in the lower realms, and you have all that right parameters, right factors in agreement and an alliance, then what gets mirrored back to you is whatever those helpful unconscious, subconscious energies had memorized from both within the fascia, but also within the field itself. So this is why also getting big, you then get to occupy all the constellations at once, and you no longer are bound by a factor and agreement with a rotation spin of one moment in time. You jump out of time, and you can have all things happen at once, all things for you at once, anytime. It doesn't matter about the astrological things anymore, because you occupy the whole thing. Otherwise, you get bound by these, when you forget that and you don't get connected, at least this is what my experience is, then you start to kind of drop into these limited experiences, and you're wondering, why isn't this happening yet? I put in the tall order. I'm constantly saying it to myself. You know, I'm doing clearings. What's happening? You may then have an agreement with time, and that you're just waiting for those right factors. And there's nothing wrong with any of this, to wait for time and wait for the right things to happen in a very sequential order. It's just, you could also jump and be fully connected. So getting in meditation, getting connected, and gardening and getting grounded was the message this morning. Like, if we do that every day, then you're like ready. You're actually an abundance vending machine. You're like, what do you want? You know, just tell me. And then someone's like, I would love this. And you're like, okay. And so it is. I see this for you, because you're holding space. And so you literally help these dreams come true. And hopefully you're not just keeping it for yourself. You're in service and you're sharing with them the keys. You're like, hey, you could do this too. You could, meditate. They also showed like dancing whirling dervish in my meditation this morning. The reason getting whirling dervish moves, right? For me, I would stare at my fingers. I had no idea what I was doing when I was doing this in my 20s. I didn't know it was a thing. And I would hysterically cry and laugh and get so blissed out. And then I would finger paint for hours, naked in like a small room condo studio with no furniture and like a pillow like this, But they showed that this morning in meditation, like how that is also a great practice if you want to do like just spinning and dancing and getting the whole movement up your spine while also you're on your feet, right? So you're grounded. There's like these whole act practices. Okay, so there was clear vision. What you have a clear vision will come back to you, and this is important too, that have gratitude. So also that was echoing, I said it to you guys out there this morning, was in the life review, I reminded you, Spirit said, that I wanted you to have a life worth living. So are you living a life worth living? And you are when you're in gratitude nonstop and in service. Your tall orders are already set, but you have like really strong affirmations, on rotation whenever you need it. You don't have like guilt that, I shouldn't be asking for money in a great house. You've cleared all that. You know that you're literally here to project light and enjoy yourself, but you're also, so those orders are already lit. But then you also know that you're here to then be in service and keep your heart wide open. So things are never really going wrong. They're just like giving you an idea or an opportunity to ask, well, what's right about this? Or what is this for? What am I supposed to be doing right now? And you could just be ignorant bliss, right? Ignorance is bliss. You could just follow your heart and say, well, right now my heart feels like it wants to go to the beach. So you just go to the beach. Well, if in the event you go to the beach and someone needs assistance and it feels right that you're supposed to offer assistance, and you just offer assistance. Let me help you with that. So you're following your flow, you're going with the moment, you're in your heart, and then you're willing to be of service. Whereas sometimes the service is not meant to be given that, like the way that out of guilt. Yeah, because again, it's meant to keep the whole Taurus moving up the channel. So if you go to say yes, but it's like something turns down below your heart, it's like, no. You could still be joyful, and it's no. And then it's still this overflowing abundance, and they were for you. They were just playing an act in the mirror of reflection coming back to show you it was still in the lower channel that wants to be dissolved or transfigured, so that you can stay throughout your day doing this. And that's what happens is people will, I call them thresholds. People will get really lit and start feeling amazing and working on all the things that we do. And then all of a sudden these little gremlins, these little weird things come out, you know, from the reflection in the lower realm. And you're like, no, but yes. And so they're, you know, we could also say like they're NPCs, you know, non-player characters, you know, or they're angels in disguise, just trying to help play that part for you. And by you saying no, you know, it literally, they poof and they rise up to their higher occasion.